Hello, everybody. Welcome back. My name is Monique, and I'm on a financial health journey to create an inheritance for the generations to come. And I want to do that through consistency and discipline. Today, we are here to do a budget closeout for the paycheck that I received on November the 3rd. And it is going to be a little different because I already know I was budgeting for items or bills that were not going to come out of this check. But I needed to, they were not going to post to my account during this paycheck period, is probably a better thing to say. So it's not going to be a way for me to completely reconcile it, to look at the bottom number for this and look at the bottom number for in my account, and everything just matches up correctly. Because some of these things, although they have drafted, it still hasn't posted, I guess. And so it's just been difficult. So I'm going to release myself from having to have that final number look the way that it should, where it matches up with whatever this remaining final number is here. I have released myself from that on this for this paycheck, and probably for the next few paychecks, as I've been saving up and doing things a little bit differently to get me through the holidays without me having to swipe a credit card. So I am released from that, and I know it doesn't match up. What I can tell you is I'm not over budget at all. I'm not going to be in the negative, and then we'll work the numbers from there. Okay, so anything you see in green is good. Anything you see in red is bad, as far as I'm concerned. So I'd like to thank everybody for liking or commenting on any of my videos, and for those that have decided to subscribe to my channel, thank you for deciding to take this journey with me. So overall, my paycheck is going to cover 11/3 through 11/16. I got paid on November the 17th. So this time those paycheck dates match up. I had a struggle with that with my last check in October, where I had my dates wrong, and it threw me off a little bit. So I got a little bit better about that. And then the way I'm going to report my income going forward is going to look a little bit different as well. As I'm do my other budget with me's, you'll start to see that, because I'm starting to build up somewhat of a buffer, and I'm starting to pull some money from some checks in anticipation for larger bills that I have that might come out in that next paycheck or the paycheck after that. So again, I'm just adjusting things overall. You know, your budget is a living, breathing thing. It continues to move. It continues to slip and slide and flex, and it is definitely fluid. If you come into it with a static mindset, if you come into it with an idea that this is a set way that I'm going to do it every single time, you may be setting yourself up. I'm not going to say you definitely are, but you may be setting yourself up for some heartache and hardships later on. So the quicker you understand that your budget is fluid and sometimes you have to make adjustments on the fly, probably the better off you're going to be. So overall, I have documented that I brought in $2,600 instead of $2,400. That's why it's marked in green. As far as my sinking funds, all of those tracked as I expected them to. So there was a total of $350 that I was able to put towards my sinking funds, and that's why it just stays in black. As far as my buffer is concerned, my buffer for my savings account, I was able to save $25 here and $75 here. So I still totaled $100, but there was just a dollar difference there to make everything even. I didn't circle it in green or red or anything like that, just because, you know, overall my final number was the same. So I was able to save $25 in my variable expense buffer, and I was able to put $75 towards savings challenges. Now, as far as my variable expenses are concerned, I just put down it was $640. And the reason why I do that is because so the week of 11/3 through 11/9, I actually only spent $234. And so I had $86 left over, but I took that money out and I applied it towards some savings challenges and squirreled it away in some savings. So the money wasn't in the bank anymore for me to use. So although I only spent $234, I really took out $320. Okay. And then the same thing for this last week. So it shows $4. It mainly was at $29 though for miscellaneous. Is cash that I had again. Although I came in under budget, anything that I had in my hands as far as that money was concerned, or anything left in the bank the day before I get paid, I just pull it out and I put it towards some savings challenges or something else when it comes to variable expenses. Not my bills account, but my variable expense account. So for that, although I did not spend $320 either time, I'm going to mark off that I actually have taken out, or that I took out $640, the full amount. All right. So here's the sticky wicket. All right. So for my fixed expenses, mortgage, so the ones that did not come out within that 11/3 to 11/6 time period, are highlighted in yellow. So that's my mortgage. As far as my fixed expenses are concerned, that's my mortgage and that's my gym fees, right? So I'm putting $0 here because that money should still be in my bills buffer account. And it is. I did check this morning just to be sure. And so, but on this, you're going to see it as a 0 because it did not come out during that particular pay period time frame. So I set aside $300 to help with mortgage. I did take care of my car tags, scribed. Apple Care came in $1 under. AT&T came in a couple of dollars under. Verizon was right on. Water was right on. Gym didn't come out yet. That's why it's highlighted in yellow. My trash was due this month, so that's $54. They cut a check from my financial institution and sent it off, but it still hasn't. So it shows documented that it's a bill that's been paid online, but I don't see where it actually posted and the amount was taken out. So I have, but I did account for that as far as this closeout is concerned. Oil change. So, child, I was thinking, I got a new car, right? Not a new car. I just got a different car. And so I went to get my first oil change. And so I said, okay, we'll just do a regular oil change, like a normal one. I don't know what regular and normal is nowadays. I know I was doing a high mileage synthetic blend one for my Kia before I traded it in, because it did have it had over 100,000 miles on it. So my thought was, well, this car only has 16,000 miles on it, so I don't have to do a high mileage kind of thing. And my thought, it just has regular gas. That's what so it needs a regular oil change. And no, the cars nowadays, depending on the make and the model, she was like, you have to have some type of synthetic oil blend just off the rip. You can't just do a normal traditional oil change, and those start out at $89.99. Now, luckily, it's a place that I've gone to before. I looked through my emails while they were changing my oil, had a $15 off coupon, so I applied that. So it was $78 instead of $60. That's why it's in red. And then going forward, I'm going to plan for it to be about $75 or $80, so that I make sure I'm accounting for that. And then the monthly fee that I have for my Chase variable expense account is $5 for that savings account. So I anticipated $7.99. Let's see where I am. 25, 12, 491, 225, 54, 78, and 5. It's $494. And we will highlight that in green because I spent less than I anticipated. All right, so that's $494. Next, let's go to debt. So for debt, Nelnet student loan came in as it should have at $82. Discover, I paid $200. Kohl's and Green Sky, I did budget for out of this check, but they did not clear yet. Those are not due until the 19th. Actually, maybe the 18th. I might have the date wrong, but it's still not within this particular time period. That's why you have 0 down. And then I have a category unplanned, and it's already in red because it's not a good thing. It's where you spent money that you were not planning on spending. And so what I did was I just added a quick little widget up here at the top to start documenting those. At first, it was just this bereavement fund that I contributed to, and you guys probably have seen that before in the past as well on some of my other budgets. So at first, that's all it was. And so this unplanned was just bereavement. And then I bought some clothes at Torrid, and I swiped my card. And then my daughter wanted some Converse to go with an outfit because she was going to a little concert, and I swiped my card, or I paid for it with my card. And then Corinne needed some money for, she was going out with some friends, and she needed some money, and that was unbudgeted. And I didn't have enough to give to her out of my variable expense, so it came out of my bills account. So all of these are funds that came out of my bills account that I did not plan to spend. So I decided to just, well, first I decided I was going to hide it and not tell y'all, but then that didn't feel right. And the Jesus in me said, that's not okay. So now I decided to document it all out, create a category that says unplanned. I actually might have that going forward just in case, so that I make sure that I am tracking towards what those amounts are and where I'm spending money. Because if I would not have documented here, if I didn't have it tied to this particular paycheck budget, it would just be like I swiped, but I'm not tracking it. So it didn't happen. It just didn't happen. And I'm learning that was a problem that I had before. Now, overall, when I go back and look at this and review, and I see up here the corner of shame up here at the top where I have spent money that I know I wasn't supposed to, or I should not have spent, it will, and I apologize, I know sometimes this ring light might get in the way. 118 is what I'm coming up with here. But being able to have it up here at the top and tied to the budget keeps it first and foremost in my mind, so that I will remember, don't get it back into some of the habits that you had before. So that's a total of $118. So I'm going to write 118 here as unplanned. Let's go ahead and color that red. And let's go ahead and add all of these up. So I've got, let's move it down a little bit. That might help. 82 plus 2, I hit equal. 82 plus 200 plus 118 equals $400. So I'm still under budget as far as what I plan to spend, but that's not good because that's $118 less in my account that I would have had as my bills cushion. And that is not a good habit to have. So we're going to need to break that. So I'm going to color it in green. No, I'm going to color it in red. I should have had more left over than just $65 between the two of those. All right. So let's write down these amounts. So that is $2,600 minus 100 for savings. 100 minus 350 minus 640 minus 494 and minus 400. Alrighty, so 2,600 minus 100, 2,600 minus 100 minus 350 minus 640 minus 494 minus 400 equals $616. So this is good. And let me tell you why. Sorry, I got a little caught up just now looking at this number, $616. But let me tell you why this is a good thing. Why I want this there, but okay. All right, glitchy. All right, $616. So I did go online and look at, today is the 17th, right? So I got paid today. I did go online to look to see how much money I had in my bills buffer account last night before I actually before my check hit, just to make sure. And I had $632 in that bills buffer account. And so I'm tracking. And I feel pretty good about that. It should have been more, right? Because if I wouldn't have spent this $118, which I need to highlight and put in red, if I did not spend that $118, I would have more money available to help. But I know at least I have what I need to have. So if I factor in here, if I say 300 for mortgage, 25 for gym, 93 for Kohl's, and 90 for Green Sky, that's $508, right? And remember, I told you I didn't see where trash has hit yet. So even if you add plus that 54 equals 562. So I am still tracking where I need to track. Okay, I think that is it. I'm going to leave my corner of shame up there, and we're going to do better the next paycheck. All right, I think that is it. Thanks everybody for your time. You guys have a good one.